I was so struck by how haunting and beautiful this theme was that I wanted to analyse what was going on and why it was so effective. If you've seen Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, you'll know there's not a hero's theme for Odysseus, but rather a lament. Odysseus isn't the swashbuckling hero we typically have in more historical epic films, with their accompanying, sweeping and soaring musical themes. Think Lawrence of Arabia or Gladiator, for example. Odysseus doesn't get that. Instead, what composer Ludwig Göransson wrote is actually something more haunting, vulnerable, and anguish. Now, if we think about the character Odysseus, this is not hugely surprising. In the poem, we hear an account of Odysseus weeping upon hearing a bard recount the Battle of Troy. And while we don't see this in the film, the movie still carries the same undertones of grief and guilt. One of the most pronounced moments of hearing Odysseus' lament is in the Sirens sequence. As the siren song hits the ship, we watch as the crew stuff wax into their ears, muffling the sound out for them, but also for us as an audience through the sound design. However, through the music that we then hear, Odysseus' internal state is revealed to us. I was so struck by how haunting and beautiful this theme was that I wanted to analyse what was going on and why it was so effective. We hear this theme played on an aulos, an ancient Greek double reed instrument that allows two notes to be heard simultaneously. In this theme, we have two things going on. The lower note we hear is the C, acting as a drone. A drone normally gives you a sense of stability, or provides a sort of home key for you. However, on top of this, we hear this falling tritone interval going from an A flat to a D. This is a tritone interval, a classic unstable interval that is dissonant, anguished, and arresting. This then resolves, sort of, to a fifth. But this fifth is left bare and open, with no third left to fulfill the harmony of the chord. This pivot from anguish to emptiness mirrors the dialogue that is going on in the scene at this point. Odysseus states, "What you already had is what you most can't have, and what you most can't have is what you already had and lost." Perhaps it is not too far of a stretch to say this musical idea embodies one of the core aspects of the story, this idea of pulling apart from home, of leaving home, but then returning home, the home is not quite the same anymore. This musical idea is later harmonised as an F minor chord followed by a C minor chord, but initially when we first hear it, that first F minor chord is left rootless. We don't hear the F at all. What in jazz theory we may call a rootless voicing, a fitting theoretical term given the fact that Odysseus is away from home at this point. But here's another detail that I think adds an extra layer to this.